So right now as we speak, Russell Westbrook is putting up statistically the most impressive season that you or I have ever seen, considering that none of us were alive to watch Oscar Robinson, more than likely. I'm just making an estimation right there. However, he's currently averaging a triple-double, and with pretty much only a month to go left in the season, it's looking like he is going to break Oscar Robinson's record of being the only player to ever average a triple-double in NBA history. And it is pretty amazing, especially because of the era Westbrook is playing in. So if I just go ahead and round it up, Russell Westbrook right now is putting up averages of 32 points a game, 11 rebounds a game, and 10 assists a game. This becomes even more impressive when you look at his usage rate, which is how much he's being used within the offense, and you consider the fact that he hasn't tired out like most people predicted he was going to. However, the better Westbrook does, the more stupid stuff I see said about him, and that's what I want to go ahead and address today. What's up, NBA fans? Dom2K on the mic, and let's just go ahead and get straight to the point. Russell Westbrook is being accused right now of stat stuffing.
What? There's a video of like.
And if you don't know what stat stuffing is, that's basically being on a bad team, putting up amazing stats, basically just playing for yourself to inflate your stats. That's the best way I can really describe it. And it seems like after every game now, I'm seeing another amazing stat from Westbrook. So he just became like one of the 4 players in history, I believe, to have this consecutive streak of 40-point games. And then I'll see that he had another triple-double. That's basically just normal for him now. And every time I click on the comment section for those stats, all I ever see is people talking about how Westbrook is selfish and he's stat stuffing and none of this matters because his team isn't winning. And I just think all this talk about Westbrook is pretty ridiculous. First off, let me just go ahead and start with the negative stuff that I do know about Russell Westbrook, because I know that's going to be in the comment section first. Yes, I understand that Russell Westbrook, his decision making is not 100%, and I've said this before in the Harden MVP video that I made a couple of months ago. I understand that, and that's not something that started this season. That's something that dates back to when he played with Kevin Durant. Sometimes he'd make terrible late game decisions, sometimes he would dribble into trouble, and a lot of the times he makes these really reckless drives to the basket that don't result in a layup. And you can see his field goal percentage this year. It's not amazing, it's 42%. And he's pretty high up there in turnovers as well. Now, the turnovers, I don't penalize him for that, just like I didn't penalize Harden for it, because their usage rate, you would expect that. The turnovers come with that the more that you have the ball in your hands. However, I don't penalize him for the poor field goal percentage either, because look who he's playing with. Now, yes, the Thunder have gotten better. They did take initiative, they went and got McDermott, and they got Taj Gibson, and they already had nice players like Steven Adams, and his Cantor is going to come back, and Andre Robertson, so they have some decent players there. But let's not forget, Russell Westbrook does not have another all-star caliber player on that roster with him. He doesn't have anybody else he can just give the ball to create shots. Basically, the offense runs through Westbrook. That team does as good as he does every night. So the field goal percentage, he's just kind of doing what he has to do there. But to accuse Russell Westbrook of stat stuffing and saying that none of this matters and they're empty stats, that's probably one of the most ridiculous things I've heard as an NBA fan. First of all, let's just take a look at where the Thunder are at right now. So in the Western Conference, they are 7th seed and they are firmly in the playoffs, because I believe they're about 7 games ahead of the 8th seed, so there's really no chance of them falling out of the playoffs, so they're gonna be there. However, they're only a couple of games out of the 5th seed and they're only 3 games out of the 4th seed. At a record of 35-27, this team is sitting pretty comfortably above the 500 mark, and that's where I really question people who are saying he's stat stuffing, because a big part of this is because of what Russell Westbrook is doing. Let's get a bit more technical here. When you look at the Thunder and their 3-point percentage as a team, they're only shooting 32%, and that's almost dead last in the league ranks, okay? Do you know how hard it is to be a good team in today's NBA and not be able to shoot threes? Damn near everybody in the league today can shoot 3-pointers. And you have a player like Russell Westbrook who is not a 3-point shooter. His game relies heavily on, he pulls up a lot, but you know, penetration is a huge part of his game. So ideally, it would be nice for him to have somebody to kick and pass to and, you know, have some 3-point shooters out there. He doesn't have that. I mean, now you got McDermott, yeah, you got, you know, that'll improve a little bit, I guess, but for the majority, he does not have sharpshooters out there like a lot of players have, specifically like James Harden. So with that being considered, I think that makes his stats and the team's record even more impressive. And then I start looking at the roster and I say, okay, Victor Oladipo is the only thing even remotely close to somebody that you can give the ball to and say go score. He's not an all-star player, but he gets a job done, I guess, for what Russell Westbrook needs. And their 3rd leading scorer after that is Enes Kanter. And yeah, Kanter's been out a while after he decided to Falcon punch the chair, so the fact that the Thunder have kept winning minus their 3rd leading scorer, that's even more amazing. So you look at some of the things that Westbrook has had to deal with the non-shooting roster to complement his penetrating game and missing his third leading scorer. And instead of making excuses or having his team drop out of the playoffs, he just decides to put up one of the most historical seasons that we're probably going to see for a long time. And it gets accused of stat stuffing. I need that explained to me, I really do, because it doesn't make sense. You know, I'm a man of my word, and I can't remember if I said this before the season in one of my videos or if I was just talking to a friend when I said this, but one of the things I vowed to was that if the Thunder finished top 4 in the Western Conference, Russell Westbrook gets MVP in my opinion. Now, I know that kind of goes against what I've said in the James Harden video because, you know, midway through the season, I was just totally convinced that James Harden had taken it from him. However, they're so close to the 4th seed, and Russell Westbrook's stats have been so out of this world that I believe if they get there, I think you have to give him the MVP. My non-existent MVP vote goes to him if they get that far. And I try to stay unbiased in all of these videos, and yeah, could Russell Westbrook improve and is he a little bit selfish sometimes? Maybe. Could he do a better job of making some of his teammates better? Yeah, he probably could. But that's where I try to remind you guys that Russell Westbrook, he doesn't have a Robin on this roster, okay? There's not another guy that he can just give the ball to and say go score, and he doesn't have the same kind of setup that James Harden has right now where he could whip the ball around and guys can just shoot lights out. He doesn't have any of that. So that results in him pretty much having to go out and do everything he's done this season. And I believe this video is going to be a lot shorter than most of my other ones because I've pretty much gotten everything I wanted to off my chest for here. This was just more of a pet peeve video because I think stat stuffing has gotten horribly misused with Westbrook for people who just think he's selfish, and he does have that tendency. However, when you consider that this Thunder team, who many people were putting outside the playoffs or at the very brink of it, for them to be only a couple of games out of 4th seed is pretty amazing, and the fact that he's averaging a triple-double and hasn't burned out yet, that's very amazing too. So I just leave you guys with this. Appreciate the greatness, appreciate what you're seeing from Russell Westbrook, because if they do get their hands on another star over the summer or they make some kind of adjustments, you won't see this type of performance again because, well, he won't have to do this type of thing again. And of course, I'd love to know what you guys think, and if you are one of the people that says Westbrook is stat stuffing, what is your definition of stat stuffing? Because the way I used to take that was players that were on bad teams and weren't getting any wins, but considering they're almost 10 games over 500 and playing pretty well considering for what they have, I don't think it falls under that category. So make sure to leave that there. Make sure to leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Hit the bell next to my name if you want notifications about my video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.